Yes, thank you so much for joining me once again. Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Marufa Otolori, and I am the founder of Lola Loves Parenting. And in our Friday Live today, we're going to be talking about parenting habits that pushes your children away from you. Why are we even talking about parenting habits that pushes our children away from us? Remember that this month we're talking about raising independent and responsible children, right? So we're talking about the habits that pushes our children away from us, because before we can actually raise responsible and independent children, there needs to be a level of connection that we need to have with our children. There needs to be a level of, togetherness that we have with our children before we can actually instill this, these characteristics in our children, right? And that's why we're talking about this topic. A lot of the time, we get complaints, we get feedback, we get so many things from parents. A lot of parents complain about how their children, most especially preteens, you see children 11, 12, 13, and teenagers disengage from them in the house, right? And not even want to start or continue a conversation with them at all, right? So maybe when they come back and you say, how are you? Fine. What is this? Okay, this, all right. No, because there's no connection. Why is there no connection? Why are we there as parents? Why have we found ourselves in these situations as parents, right? So this is something that makes us become really worried when, once that child that used to be that child that always wants to be around us, that always wants to cuddle us, that always want to, they just want to be around us. When they suddenly, create that gap between us, when they create that space between us, when that's that connection, that's wanting to cuddle, wanting to be around you is no longer there. When that once happy child have turned their back on us and do not even want to speak with us, they don't want to even have anything to do with us, but they do not have a choice. A lot of the time, when we speak with teenagers like that, we get this feedback a lot. We get this feedback a lot. Yes, I've been in a space whereby, I've mentored teenagers, I've spoken to them, and these are some of the feedbacks that we get from them. And that's why I thought, okay, let us talk about this so that parents on this platform can also understand the things that they need to start doing or the things that they need to stop doing so that they do not continue to create that vacuum between themselves and their children, right? Just like it's something that we already know that this habit is not from the vacuum. That habit of children being away from us, not wanting to talk to us, not wanting to engage with us and all of it is not from the vacuum. A lot of time parents complain. They say things like, I did everything. I've done everything. I don't know what to do. Or some people say, what have I even done to deserve this? These are the things that we hear from parents. What have I done to deserve this? They don't even want to hear from me. We need to know that it is not from the vacuum. And like we always say, that parenting is about us. It is not about our children. I like to tell parents that if you find yourself in a place whereby something is not going right between you and your child, or something is, wrong, introspect, look within. Look within you. What exactly is going on? What exactly is wrong? Right? So it is not from the vacuum. It is from something that we as parents are doing or are not doing right. This is something that we need to know. And, we're going to talk so much. We're going to, like I call Friday moments, they are talking truth moments. This is something that we need to go back and reflect on and start working with. This is why we have decided to talk about, this habits, these patterns that pushes our children away from us, and how we can begin to reverse it, right? Don't that will not just leave us with the problem, will not just leave us with the challenges. Of course, we'll also talk about the way forward, right? So one thing that we need to know is that, yes, like I said on my status this morning or this afternoon, I said that yes, we have very good intentions. Yes, I don't need to be told that we have very good intentions. We want to raise children that are responsible, that are, we have good intentions. We love our children. We love them so much that we do the things that we do because of this good intention, because we feel that when we do these things, then they will turn out the way we want them to turn out. But the truth of the matter is our intentions are not enough. Our intentions are not enough. I will appreciate if somebody can help me put that in the comment section. Our intentions are not enough. They are not enough, and that's just the truth. Only if we know that our intention and just this love for our children is not enough to actually raise wholesome children, then maybe we'll start looking into those things that we need to add to a good intention that make us act rightly. So it's going to be a good intention coupled with a good deed from us to our children, which is going to help us to get to wherever it is that we're going to. Can I be heard? I feel alone. Please, if you are here listening to me, kindly help me share this link with other parents in your platform, in your community, in your any WhatsApp group that you belong to that allows this. Please kindly help us share this and let other parents also come and benefit from this, right? So as we go on, please, I need to know that I am not alone. I have not seen any comments except the one that has been sent from the beginning of the session. Please go along with me. It's supposed to be a discussion. If there's anything that resonates with you, kindly share with me in the comment section. Right. So like I was saying, we need to know that our intentions are not enough. The love that we have, it is not enough. We need to add other things. You need other important things that should be added to that love, to that good intention that you already have. We need to add it to it, right? So if it is not added, if we only go with our good intention, your children will shut down. If we use the good intention to continue to act the way we do, your children will shut down. They will talk less. They will roll their eyes when you talk. Have you been in that space before? Right? They will roll their eyes when they talk. They won't, your whatever it is that you say will not hold water with them. It's not going to hold water with them. Right? Yes, intention are not enough. Thank you so much, Ms. Kafila. Right? So you then wonder, what exactly is happening? And that's where those questions come from. What is it that I am not doing right? Where is it that I have gotten it wrong? What exactly is happening? And, we keep saying things. We now be in a place whereby we feel that, okay, yes, there's something. Is there something I'm not doing? Is there something I need to do? Is there something I'm not doing right? And that's why I love it so much. When parents of children that are still very young, when they come to sessions like this, I wish that I got this from the beginning, like the beginning of when I was parenting, when I started parenting my children. Of course, I'm still parenting, don't mind me, right? So I wish, and that's why a lot of time, it is easy for us to program a child. It is very easy for us to program a child than to start reprogramming an adult or even a teenager. It is very easy. Yes, it is doable, but it is more easy when our children are still very young compared to when they have turned into teenagers. So the truth is that most parenting habits, which, we have inherited, are being replicated. That's exactly what is going to happen. There are no two ways about it. There are no two ways about it. Whatever it is that we have, that is what we are going to replicate. And that is exactly what we're going to do to our children. But it is not working. You agree with me that it is not working, right? And all of these things, what it does is that it pushes our children further away from us. It pushes them. It continues to push them away from us. This is why it is important to talk about these cycles and avoid them. If we have younger children and if we have older ones, this is to let us know that it is not too late to break those cycles, to break those habits, to connect with our children, to start building a lasting relationship with our children so that we can be able to discipline them appropriately. Right? So what are these parenting habits that pushes our children away from us? This is something that we've almost said every time, every week, but we'll keep saying it because it is something that is important. And the first one that we're going to be talking about is our emotional unavailability. Emotional unavailability. This is when you are physically present, but you are not emotionally present. You are emotionally disengaged from your children. Your children can see you, but they can't feel your presence. And this is why a lot of us do not even know the children that we are raising. We do not know our children. We do not understand our children because we have not taken time to spend time, with them. There's no two ways about it. We need to know that parenting children in this century, it requires that we give it time. And there's a quote that says that we do not have time for anything except the things that are important to us. I'd appreciate if someone can help me put that in the comment section. We do not have time for anything except the things that are important to us. So what happens? Your children, in the process of wanting to be seen, they want you to feel them. They want you to know that they are there. They'll always come around, especially when they are still very young, when they are still between the ages of 0 to 10 years. They will keep coming around. They will keep coming around because they want to feel that. They want you to be emotionally available for them. But the moment your children are unable to feel your presence emotionally by the time they turn 10, you see, by the time they turn 10, your influencing state, or how do I put it? It has reduced. It has reduced. Now it is their peers that are going to be influencing them. So you can imagine a situation whereby you never had an emotional connection with your child. You do not have an emotional connection with your child. That influencing power, yes, thank you. It reduces, right? So you can imagine when you do not have that emotional, connection with your child, and that child has not gotten to that stage whereby those who can influence that child, they are now there, they are now available. You have pushed that child. You have pushed that child away subtly. You don't even know that you have pushed that child away. Right. So what now happens is that your child now starts to seek validation. They start to seek validation from their peers, from people that are giving them listening ears, from people that have been human to them. And when I say being human, people that can see that people that are being human, when they make mistakes, they see that, okay, yes, it's a mistake. Not parents that see mistakes as things that you shouldn't make. So if you're not emotionally connected with your child, it is a very big problem. And a lot of the time, what happens is that while we were growing up, our own parents were there. They were present, but they were not emotionally present. They were not emotionally present because they didn't know. They didn't know how important emotional connection was. So they didn't know what to do. They were there. Because of course, maybe not those that raised us, or those that raised, depending on what age that we are. Maybe those people who raised us, maybe they were just there. They were just present. But they were not there to acknowledge our emotions. They were not there to acknowledge our feelings. They helped us to suppress or even make it feel like the feeling is not there. Right? Those ones, maybe they didn't know what to do. But parents of now, we know what to do. But what happens? Our phones does not make us connect with our children. Our phones does not make us connect with our children. We are not present emotionally. So we're either, chatting with people that we do not know, that we just met them online. We're talking with people that people that we even know. We are trying to connect with people that do not really need our connection, ignoring or neglecting the people that need our connection. You need to know that if your child's emotion is not validated and their voice is dismissed, they begin to whisper, or eventually they go quiet around the home. And that's why I said from the beginning that it is not from the vacuum. Your children, your teenagers, your preteens, not wanting to talk to you, not wanting to have any connection. It is not from the vacuum. You did not just, they did not just wake up and decide that, okay, yes, this is what I want to do. It is you that pushed them away. You might not do it in a way that, it was obvious you were pushing them away, but you actually pushed them away. So this does not make us to know our children. And that's why when we hear certain things about our children, maybe from their teachers, from their mudaris in, madrasa and all of that, we open our mouth so wide because we do not know our children. We do not know the children that we are parenting. We do not know the children that we are raising. So that emotional disconnection is so obvious that the only time you talk to your children, the only time you speak to your children is when you either want to correct them, when you either want to give them instructions, when you want to give them orders, or when you're yelling. Or when you're yelling, or when you're shouting. That is the only time you talk to your children. That is the only time you disconnect to your children. I was actually reading a post on nurse educators. I think some people should know nurse educators here. And, there was a poll, not really a poll, but there was a post that was asking, what type of parent are you? And a lot of people were choosing authoritative, authoritarian, and like that. And I really love the feedback that I got from those people. May Allah bless them. It says that no one is choosing neglectful. No one is choosing neglectful parenting style, but a lot of us are neglectful. We feel that raising children is just about giving corrections, giving orders, giving instructions, and all of that. A lot of us are neglectful. But we will not choose that because we feel that we're providing for them, we are cooking for them, we're buying clothes for them, we've sent them to the best school and all of that. That is not what defines intentionally raising our children. We're neglectful. There's no structure. There's no time to bond. There's no time to talk. There's no time. You do not allow your children to talk. You have silenced them due to the things that you are doing in the house. You're pushing your children away. It does not happen in a day. And that's why when people, no matter what happens, if you find yourself, don't let anybody continue to deceive us. A lot of the time when people talk, when people say certain things that, we can only try our best. Children that are going to turn this are going to turn this. Let me tell you, one verse of the Quran that I love so much is that Allah said that whatever it is that we strive for, we'll get it. We will get it. We will get what is strived for. So don't be in that space. Don't be in that space. Don't be in that WhatsApp group and community of people that say that you can only try your best. Children that will turn this will turn this. Don't be in that WhatsApp space. Always think positive. Never think negative. Think positive. Think positive. Don't always be in that space and they will do this. And that's why it is not just enough for us to be righteous. It is not just enough for us to, to be that good person, we need to empower our children. And how can we even do that when we are emotionally disconnected, when we are not even available? It is something that we really need to look into. So we can't just be physically there and we are emotionally absent, and we expect that when that time comes, because the truth is that when we expect our children, to talk to us, to ask us for, maybe they're trying to make a decision, to ask us questions and all of that, we don't see them. And that's where we start to complain. That's when we start to talk. That's when we start to complain. This disconnection makes children seek other people's attention outside, and that's exactly what happens. Human beings naturally were social beings. We want to feel among, we want to feel seen, we want to feel valued, we want to feel important. So tell me, if you who is supposed to be a guide who has brought your child to this world, if you are not there to actually validate your child, to show them how important they are, to talk to them, to listen to them, tell me, do you think they're not going to seek it elsewhere? The way you walk, of course, they are human beings too. They will seek it from outside if you do not give it to them. So have you not pushed them away like that? You have. And that's why a lot of us, this is something that I will continue to say, a lot of us, we ran away from home. Because every other place was comfortable for us. Every other place was pleasing to us. Every other place feels good to us except our homes. And that's why in everything that you do, never make your house an unsafe space for your child. Never make you see, there are so many things that we have heard, there are so many things that we have seen. This is something that I'll always say. Go and look at the association of Yahoo people. Go and look at the association of, of mothers that are celebrating these people. Go and look at them. Let's just look at it. Let us look at the bad news that we see around every day, and let's see the names. Let's see the names of children that appear there. So we need to be emotionally present. Let your house be a safe space for your child. Like I said, you can have the best of intention. A lot of the time, parents have the best of intention. This is something I can bet. We do not want to see them spoiled. We do not want to, and that's why we take certain decisions. We yell, we shout, we beat, because we do not have the tools that we're supposed to use. Our good intentions is not enough. Your children deserve a better part of you. Your children deserve to see the best part of you. Stop showing your children the worst part of you, all in the name of a good intention. Stop showing your children the worst part of you, all in the name of a good intention. This is something that is very important. Right, so I've spoken about this too much already, right? So we're going to go to the second thing that pushes our children away. The second thing that pushes our children away is overprotection. Overprotecting our children. You know, we said it that this month we're talking about raising independent and responsible children. We overprotect our children. We are shielding them. We are stifling them. On the WhatsApp community on Wednesday, we spoke about the traps that parents fall into that doesn't make them to raise independent and thoughtful children. And we spoke about the pressure trap, the guilt trap, and, you know, the other types of traps that we fall into that does not make us to raise responsible children. We shield our children. We overprotect them. You know, we come from the place of the sufferness that I suffered, that struggle that I went through. I don't want my children to go through it. That's because to us, we see it as, you know, it was like, we saw it as a punishment, as something that was, you know, that was very bad. Meanwhile, that struggle that made us into whatever it is that we have, that we are today, we want to take it away from our children. Then we're now replacing with the things that actually damage them. At every slight mistake, we shame them. At every slight mistake, we yell at them. At every slight mistake, we shout at them. And we do things like that. We shield our children. Shielding and stifling our children can be one thing that pushes them away. We might be surprised, but it does, because we feel that, okay, we're trying to give them the best. We're trying to make them this. We're trying to make, but it's just like we're choking them. If what that is hinder them from being independent, and also does not make them to take initiatives. That's what happens when you overprotect, overshield. Your 7-year-old cannot do anything. Your 10-year-old cannot do anything. Your 15-year-old, nothing. Especially when they are boys. We feel that maybe when they grow up, those skills are going to jump on them. We overprotect them. Let us know today that it is our own responsibility to parents. Only Allah protects. We can't even protect ourselves as adults. It is our own responsibility to parent our children. Only Allah protects. To parent our children, sorry. Only Allah protects. So if you keep shielding them, if you keep overprotecting them, how do they learn the things that they are supposed to learn? Overprotecting our children without giving them freedom is a cage. It's not a shield. It is a cage. They need to have a level of freedom. They need to have a level of freedom. You see, one thing that we have learned, we have learned it because of the things that we've seen in the past and all of that, sexual molestation, harassment, and all of that. We don't find ourselves in a place whereby we want to keep our children inside. We call them omoget inside. Right? We call them omoget. They're always inside the gates. They're always inside. They don't know what is going on outside. They don't know whatever it is that is going on outside their world. We keep protecting them. This is something that pushes them away, because the moment they gain that freedom and step their legs out of your house, you have lost them, because you have overprotected them too much. And what now happens? Because you have not given them the right skills for them to navigate real life, they misstep, they pass their boundaries, they do things that you would think they can't do, because you have shielded them too much. It pushes your children away from you as they grow older. It makes them upset. They become angry. They become upset because they do not even understand how the world works. You have shielded them from experiences that should actually help them to build meaningful life skills, to teach them meaningful life lessons. Let's not be in a place whereby we overprotect our children. You see, like I always say that as parents, we have find ourselves in that place whereby we pay attention on the things that do not matter. Then we neglect the things that really matters. We neglect it. It could be out of ignorance. It could be out of the fact that we feel that, okay, yes, this is the right thing. It's still ignorance anyway. Overprotecting your children does not make them become that confident. A lot of us, that's what we want. We want our children to be confident. We want them to say no and stand there no. We want them to say yes and stand there yes. But what happens when you overprotect your children? That confident child that you want to see, it is no longer going to be there. Do you know why? Because what actually builds confidence is competence. It is confidence that can only build competence. Something that a child has done and done and done. That child is going to be confident in it. Let's take public speaking, for example. Like, that's the littlest of example we want to choose this evening. Let's choose it as an example. If your child has not been in that space whereby they speak, they speak to people, they can't even speak to you at home. You can't even say, oh yeah, stand. Oh yeah, let's talk. Let's just. So yeah, tell me, a farmer is better than a teacher. There are several things we can engage our children in. Several things. So that child has not practiced it. Then you just pick that child one day and you expect that child is going to speak in front of maybe even 10 or 15 people. What's going to happen? That child does not have that competence to do that. So there's no confidence to do it. If that child has constantly done something, only competence builds confidence. Yes, thank you. Only competence builds confidence. So before you can dream, because that's usually our dream. We want to build children that are confident, that can do this, that can do that. You need to know that you need to stop overprotecting your children. You need to stop overprotecting them, because it is from competence that children are going to be confident. It's built from when children have tried a couple of times, which means it's going to come with failure. It's going to come with mistakes. It's going to come with mess. It's going to come with different things like that before they can actually get whatever it is that they should get. Yes, only competence. Overprotecting our children does not make them think. That's one thing. It does not make them think. They don't know what the next step is. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They can't be thoughtful. This morning I was, this is something that I can really relate it, because I have raised a child who is not mine, who was a bit older before she got to me, and I can see it. I can see the difference. It does not make your children think. So this particular morning, of course, we have a timetable for food, and a food roster. What do they call it? Yes, we have a food roster, and everyone knows that, okay, yes, today is Friday, it's a weekend, and this is what we're going to eat. But this morning, after after my morning routine and all of that, I had to take a nap back that, okay, I need to sleep. But before I woke up very late. And by the time I woke up, I dashed straight into the kitchen, rushing to go and make sure that, I start cooking so that everyone was going to eat. I met my 7-year-old. He was already peeling potato. Do you know the funny thing about this thing? Is that the first day I told him to do it, I just told him that, okay, yes, try. He cut himself with that knife that first day. But I was surprised. Even the father woke up before me and was asking, was it your mom that told you to do this? And he said no. One thing that I was able to pick out from my journey, because this is something that I pay attention to it, I journal about it, because I want to know. I really want to know what is working and what is not working. And of course, because I do this, every time, I don't want to be in a space whereby I lead people astray. Of course, I want to be right. So I was thinking about it when I was still with my foster daughter, when she was still with me, when we were still together. Let me put it that way. Two things would happen. Is either that she doesn't do, she doesn't help to do whatever it is that she was supposed to do, or she would come and ask if she should do it. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to explain. It is either that she will not do that thing, or even if she will do that thing, if she has an idea of, okay, should I do this thing? She will come and ask you at about 11 or 12 years. 11, 12 years. She will come and ask you, should I do this? Something that is already written. It's not as if we change anything. It's not as if it's already there that, okay, yes, this is what we eat. This is what we take for breakfast and all of that. She will come and ask you. I saw those lapses and I knew that, okay, yes, I really need to. This is something that we really need to pay attention to. Yes, there was going, of course, so many peels, so many potatoes went with the peels. Of course, mistakes will happen, mess will happen, many things will happen. And that's why I said it from the beginning, yes, from last month, that if you are not an emotionally intelligent parent, you can't raise responsible and independent children. It is not a course. Is it even if they are going to be doing certain things in your, they'll just be doing it to please you. And I said it before that that's how we raise hypocritical children. That's how we raise children who are hypocritical. They just want to, there's no integrity. And that is what is eating deep into our society these days. People just want to do things because the owner is there. They can see, even in workplaces. Only few people do things with integrity, like, yes, Allah is watching me. Only very few people. So they are going to be hypocritical. Just doing it because they want to please, or because I don't want this, because, you know, they are going to be walking on eggshells. So I was like, overprotecting our children does not make them think. You're constantly overprotecting them. You don't want them to do this. You don't want them to do it. If I had said that, okay, well, because knife cut your hand the first day that you tried to do it, okay, don't do it again. Never do it again. Or because, you know, there are so many. We are going to talk about inconsistent discipline too. It's one of those things that makes our children to, you know, that pushes them away from us. So this is something that we need to know. Let us expose them to the things that we need to expose them to. And that's why it hurts so much when we talk about raising children intentionally and people come and say that, is it that gentle parenting? Me, I cannot raise my children. You know, we even brag about it. I cannot raise my children without beating them. It is not about that. It is about giving your children, empowering your children to become who Allah has destined that they are going to be. Because yes, Allah has destined that they are going to be something. And that's why you are a guide. You are a guide. I was saying it today that I don't know. Is it that so many people don't think about? For me, I think so much about it. Like, hey, I'm going to be asked about these children. They are trust. My mother is not a trust on me. My father is not. My husband is not. These children are trust on me. Do we have that fear at all? Do we not that fear at all? So what happens? We feel that we push our children away. Then when they go to that space whereby they want to seek validation, they want to be seen, they want to be heard and all of that, if they now fall in the hands of people who are ready to misguide them, then we now come back and start lamenting and start complaining. I don't know what I have done wrong. I did everything that I could. I did this, I did that. I sent them to the best of schools. I gave them the best of food. I gave them the best of clothes. That's not what our children need. That is not what they need. Yes, they need it. You should understand that. That's not that primary thing that they need. So we are in that era where we feel that hard work does not pay. That yes, we're in that era where we feel that everything is now smart work. Work smart, don't work hard. We're going to work hard even when we're working smart. So expose your children to the world of work. Don't overprotect them. Don't overprotect them from working hard. Don't overprotect them from striving. Don't overprotect them from struggling, because there is nothing they will be able to achieve if they cannot put in the work. Expose them. Let them know how real world looks like. This is something that is very important. And apart from the fact that we're empowering them, if we do not put them in the space whereby they do the things that they're expected to do so that they become acclimatized to it, we're pushing them away, because they are going to see us as nuisances when that time comes. The third one is yelling. We already know this one is like, it's a big red flag. In case you don't know, if we're still in that space whereby we'll go online, we will now go and be bragging about the fact that, and if you don't yell, your children will not listen. Please. Even if we know that, yes, this thing, I'm trying to work on it, it's a different thing. For you to now go and open your bum outside again and say, if we don't yell, come on. It is something that is wrong. Let's not brag about it. Like how? How did we get to a space whereby we're obviously doing things that are wrong? Maybe we're praying to Allah that Allah should help us through it or something like that. And we're still out there saying that there's nothing you can do. Your children, you know, there's something I was learning, you know, I started learning recently, that our upbringing is something that affects the whole of our entire life. It affects the whole of our entire life till we die. Our upbringing is something that is very important. Yelling is another factor that pushes our children away. You know, you will get to that stage, or your children will get to that stage whereby when you start shouting, your whatever it is that you're saying does not hold water. It does not hold anything. You just say, you shout, Nani, and that's all. They might not say it to you, but that's what it means. Even if when you yell, they will not listen to you. It is not the children's fault. It is because of the way the brain works. The brain does not work that way. The brain does not think in chaotic situations. The brain does not think in healthy situations. A lot of the time, you're shouting that your child should do something right, but your child cannot do it right because that is not how the brain works. Children learn to shut down. If you as a parent you are a yelling addict, they shut down. And I think I've said it a couple of times on this platform that if you're always in that space where you say that it is when I yell that they listen, that is just the brain of your child protecting your child. It is just the brain of your child protecting your child from danger, because that is the first function of the brain, to make sure that you are safe. The amygdala is just at work. And like I always say, that there's a partnership that's supposed to be between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. But if the amygdala is always the one at work because of your own yelling and shouting that you have decided not to find solutions to, that is what is going to happen. Your children will not be able to think because that part of the brain that is supposed to think is always shut down. Parents, please, let us stop bragging about the things that we obviously know that they are bad. It is not enough for us to say that our parent did it to us, then we need to do it to our children. Those things didn't serve us. Why should we continue to use the things that didn't serve us to our children? It didn't serve us. It did not. And that's why we have lots and lots of us. We find it very difficult to make decisions. We find it very difficult to make wise decisions. Because that part of the brain that is supposed to think, make decisions for higher order thinking was not trained. It was shut down. It wasn't trained. Because that's the excuse a lot of us come and give. My parent did it this way. We turned out okay. What is our definition of being okay? Someone was sharing about, the leakage of the video of a pastor's child or something. And, people were talking about, and people were asking, where can we watch it? Where can we watch, the leakage of the nude video of a girl? And people were there asking, where can we watch it? Where can we watch it? How? So did we really turn out okay that way? There are so many things, so many absurd things. So please, in everything, like I said from the beginning, in everything that we do, let us try as much as possible to make our home a safe haven for our child, a safe space for our child, a stable place for our child, because there is this calmness that comes with stability. There is this calmness that comes with stability. So it is not gentle parenting. A lot of the time when we say that don't yell, don't shout, don't beat your children, don't do this, it is not about any gentle parent. People say things like, I don't know. This is something that I've heard over and over. Me, I don't have time. I don't have time for semester. We brag about these things. We say it in our native language. We say it in whatever way we want to say it. I will beat you finish. Your head will reset. It will go back to factory setting. These are things that we hear every day. These are things that we are used to. Please, we are here to guide our children. We do not own them. And we will be asked. We will be asked. And that's why good intentions are not enough. If you continue to yell, you will lose your children. You are pushing them away from you. You will not just lose them. That's the most unfortunate thing. You will not just lose your children. You are going to take something away from your children that is supposed to make them thrive. Think about it. Think about it as adults that we had today. Think about it. Can we think for ourselves? Can we do things for ourselves? Can we continue to do things for ourselves that is going to profit us? Without trying to heal first. There are so many things, because upbringing is something that is important. Our programming is something that is very important. And if we have been programmed not to think, it's not something that can just jump on us. So yelling is not just the fact that we're going to lose our children. Our children they will have to heal from it. They will need to start reprogramming before they can actually do things. This is something that I say every day. This is something that I am very sure of. Those children cannot think. They can't think. If you continue to yell. So many researchers have proven this. So it's not just enough that, okay, yes, we can feel that, okay, yes, I'll push them away and all of that. They will find it difficult to do something for themselves as they grow, as they age. Not yelling as a parent gives children a stability that adults of today do not have that stability. Yes, we have so many adults that do not have that stability. You know, when something happens that triggers something in us, you know, we feel things are not going right and all of that. We find it very difficult to be calm and think in chaotic situation. We feel that once things are happening like this and there's a trigger and there's all of that, and everything should keep triggering. That's what we feel. That's how we face challenges. That's how we face situations. We're not emotionally intelligent enough. So yelling is something that does not, there's a big difference. There's a big difference because our expectations of our children are too high. And that's why we find ourselves, and it's not our fault. Yes, it's not our fault that what happened to us, but it is our fault that we have not decided to heal. It is something that we need to continue to do. A lot of adults today don't have that stability. Once something happens, something is not going their way, maybe they lose a contract, they lose something, you find them. There's no calmness. When you are able to raise your children in a place whereby you don't yell, you don't shout, you are not everywhere, everything is not chaotic, it helps your children to make decisions. They are thoughtful, they are able to think. They are not just everywhere when things are not going their way. They are able to make decisions that aligns. It's not just because, okay, yes, because we just want to. It is because of how it affects our children negatively. It is because of how, if we do it, please, yes, they are children. Like I always say that they are trees. They are trees. They will not walk away because they can't even walk away until that time comes that they can walk away. They won't. They are trees. When you raise children without yelling, there's a calmness they have, even in chaos, even when things are not going their way. So today, I want you to go and try something with your children when you get up. Try to raise your hand and act as if you want to spank or you want to hit your child. If your child shakes, if your child tries to run away, if your child tries to, try to find safety, there's something wrong. There's something really wrong. There's something wrong. It means that you are not safe. Your children are not safe with you. And it shouldn't be. Let us try this out and let us try correcting whatever it is that is not making them safe with us. Yelling and hitting your children is you always putting them in an anxious state. They're always going to be agitated. They're always going to be anxious. And once you're anxious, what happens? You're in the place of anxiety. You can't think through things. Because you're anxious. You don't even know what the result is going to be. You don't know. You're anxious. You can't think. That's exactly what happens if that is how you have raised your children. It makes us to raise children that are hypocrites. I said it from the beginning. They just want to do the things that they want to do because they want to be safe. The moment they gain that freedom, that's all. In everything that you do as parents, please, let's get it right. It is something that is very important. A lot of adults are there broken. Maybe because of the things that I check online and all of that. Algorithm finds a way, finds that way of bringing different stories, different talks of how upbringing has messed so many children up. Please, let us try as much as possible to get it right. And I like to tell people that one beautiful thing about intentionally raising your children is that it benefits you first before your children. It benefits you first before your children. It benefits you first before it benefits your children. So it's all around. Please. Before they can thrive, they need to go through healing. Give your children an advantage of a stable home, of a safe home. Give your children that advantage. You see, if you give your children the advantage of a stable home, of a safe home, even if you do not have the whole of the luxury in this world, you have given them something that will help them to thrive when it is time. Not just something that will just help them to survive, like a lot of us are surviving. Your children do not need to suffer or feel hurt before they can learn. This is one thing that we need to know. A lot of the time, we see it as this child has done something very wrong. If you don't punish the child, if this child doesn't go through a particular, type of punishment, if this child doesn't get hurt, then this child is not going to learn. How did we just come to that conclusion that before somebody can learn something, then they actually need to suffer, then they need to get hurt, then they need to be punished? How? It's still because of our upbringing, because of the way we were brought up. We feel that before a child that you need to, we hear people say things that a 3-year-old, you hear them say, yes, this is something that is very common. Why should we be in a place whereby we hit a child, we make a child suffer just for the child to learn? If the whole of our learning process comes with sufferness, is there anybody that will even want to learn anything again? No one. Let's think about all these things. Let's sit down with it and think about it. As a matter of fact, they can't learn. They can't even learn in that space. If you find yourself in whereby you say, okay, if they don't beat the child, that child is not going to learn. If you still beat the child will not learn. Why? Because the brain of the child is to save the child first before any learning can occur. So think about it. We might feel that a lot of time when we say things like this, parents come and say things like, why is it that child did not now do that thing again? It's still because the brain of your child is trying to protect your child, but your child has not really learned. Your child has not really learned. They do not need to feel hurt. They do not need to suffer before they can learn, because they won't even learn in that space. And that's how the brain is designed. It is helping them look for safety first before any learning can actually come up. This is something that we need to know. Someone was sharing with me, some days that, she finds herself in a place whereby she hits her child, because the child is not once. Instead of hitting the child, why not stimulate the interest of the child to learn? Stimulate the interest of the child to learn. So if those things, anything that hurts, anything that makes your child feels really bad because of the pain that you have inflicted on them, it's going to, of course, it's going to push them away from you. Nobody wants to be with somebody that constantly hurts them. Think about it. Nobody wants to be, except somebody that does not know what he or she is doing. Except somebody who doesn't know what he or she is doing. So we train our children with something different. Then we expect something different from them when they grow. And this is why when, our children grow, maybe we've done something to them. Example, we've beaten them, and we refuse to take responsibility for our actions. We keep saying something like, you made me beat you. You made me beat you because you did not listen. I'm doing this because I love you. We just distort everything in the brain of our children. Then when that child gets married, if that child is a girl and the spouse beats the child, and the child, you're telling the child, no, you cannot consider the child. What would the child keep telling you? He did this because he loves me. He loves me. That's why he did it. What do you want the child to say? So we now have so many people, so many adults that die in domestic violence because of how we were brought up, making us believe that hitting you is part of love. It's a mentality that is quack. Let's just sit down and think about it. If you constantly be in that place whereby you beat your child or you do something painful to your child, then you tell your child it's because I love you. Love should not be associated with pain. Let's just think through all of these things. It is something that is very important. Another thing that pushes our children away is overemphasis on achievements, conditional affection. So I want to ask us this evening, we fall in that place whereby we say things like, I'm doing this because I love you. Do we really love our children? Do we really, really love our children? Because if you love your children, you accept them. Your love is not going to be, it's not going to be a conditional type of love. It's going to be unconditional. Think about it. Those children that you love the most, why do you love them the most? Because they do well in school mostly, because they are the one that listen to you. They are the one that always do their house chores before they are told. If you are constantly in that place where you are conditionally loving your child, you are pushing your child away. Like a mentor will say that your children are not monkeys, that when they perform, that's when you give them banana. They are not monkeys. You have to unconditionally love them, even when they are not doing something that is right yet, because they will still do it if you teach them with love and not the love that comes with pain. So think about it. If you're always overemphasizing on achievements, you did not do well in this, you did because your child did not take first to third, be first to fifth, be whatever, then because of that, that love is no longer there. Then when your child is doing well, when they are doing this, then that is when you love that child. You are pushing that child away. You are constantly pushing that child away. When that child that gets that opportunity to fly, that child will fly. That child will run away from home. That child will run away from you. You have pushed that child. Love your children. Love your children unconditionally, please. Love your children unconditionally. It is something that is very important. Children are unique in their own ways. Only if we can be patient to spot their strengths. Only if we can be patient to spot their strengths. Do you really love your child? You know that Owe Yoruba. I'm sure that there's nobody that does not understand Yoruba here. That Omo to bada ni ti baba e, èyí tí ò bada ni ti tìyá ẹ. People have heard it before, right? Omo to bada ni ti baba e, èyí tí ò bada ni tìyá ẹ. Okay. It's not something that we should brag about. Because yes, children are not, like I was saying, children are naturally, they are not damaged though. They are not damaged. It is what we expose them to that actually damages them. It is we that have gone through thick and thin that we need to repair ourselves. It is we that we need to repair ourselves. That's why I always say that let us try as much as possible to introspect. This is something that has been put in place for us to be able to serve as reminder for us. Because yes, reminder benefits the believer. Not just in Psalm, not just in Salah, not in everything that we're doing to move closer to Allah, in everything that we're doing to seek the rahmah of Allah. This reminder benefits us. Love your children wholeheartedly. Love them unconditionally. Correct them with love, like I said, not the one that comes with pain. What happens when you love your children, when you have conditional affection for your children, when you're only emphasizing on achievement, on great and all of that, is that you're going to be making your children have that fear of failure. Did you see how everything is now, is going inside each other? Your child is not going to have a fear of failure. So even when they are in school, they fear failure so much, they try to put their best, but they will not be able to take initiatives. They will not be able to think outside the box and do something new because they don't want to fail. Think about it. When, professionals, coaches, mentors and all of that, when they want to talk to us, when they want to talk to people, those that are in the impact industry, they say things like, do it. Even if you are going to fail, do it. Do it. Because it's not, you can't take initiative if you're always in that place where, you don't want to fail. They will tell you that you should do it. When you fail today, let's think about the people that invented the things that we now use today. They failed at a point in their lives. But they didn't give up. They didn't allow the fear to do what? They didn't allow that fear of failure to define them. But if you're always conditionally loving your children, if you have conditional affection to your children, that's exactly what you're putting in the mind of your children. They are going to fear failure because they know that once they fail, they are not going to get your love. They are not going to get your, they are not going to get your love. That's it. It is the only time that, they are able to please you. That is the only time that they can actually get that, that love from you. So they fear failure. They can't take initiative. They don't want to take risks. They don't want to do new things. They don't want to grow. And that's why if you're constantly in that place, you're only going to raise children that are going to survive. They will not thrive. And we all want to raise children that are going to thrive. This is something that is very important for everyone, right? So we need to start doing things that will make our children thrive and not just survive. Stop loving your children conditionally. When they do good, you love them. When they don't do good, love them wholeheartedly because your love for them takes them places. They have that feeling of unworthiness. They are not worthy. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do that they can do right. And even if they manage to do it right, as far as it is not meeting your own definition of being right, then they are not going to get your love in return. This is something that is very important, right? We have only 1 minute to go. So I'm just going to run through, some other points that I have here. We have lots of them. And the one that I'm going to be going deep into is parenting ego. Parenting ego pushes your children away. What is parenting ego? You cannot apologize. You're not humble. You're not humble. Humility is something that is affecting you. One thing about all of these things is that it does not just affect our parenting. It affects our growth. It affects our development. It affects our growth. We can't apologize. to our children when we do something wrong. We can't be vulnerable. We want our children to see us as that perfect person. You're not humble enough to apologize to your children when you wrong them. So you're always the one, you're always the right one, you're always the right one. Your child is always the wrong one. You're pushing your children away. You cannot be held accountable for the things that you do. You cannot see things that you did wrong and say, I'm very sorry for this thing that I have done. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry. You can't be vulnerable. You find it very hard to apologize. Parenting ego. You're the one in charge. You're the authority, the person in, we understand what this means. Let us try as much as possible to be humble with our children, and not just with our children. Like I said, it's not something that affects us alone, in parenting. It affects us in every area of our life, because we can't submit to people that we can even learn from, because we see it as, I'll not be listening to that one. But what exactly is she saying? What exactly is he saying? Depending, we can't be humble to learn. And one thing about it, if you're not humble, you can't even learn. If you're not humble, you can't learn. If you are not humble, there are certain things that you will not be able to access. So you have to be humble. So start with being humble with your children at home. When you do something wrong, come, accept what you have done. Apart from the fact that you're teaching your children the right thing to do, one thing that it does is that level of respect for you from your children, it increases. That's one thing we do not know. We feel that it undermines our authority. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. When you're supposed to apologize, you become manipulative. You now say things like, me, that I have been paying your school fees from this to that I have bought clothes for you, that I have done this, that I have done this. Just because we do not want to apologize, mean that I carried you for 9 months. We did not know. This is something that we really need to pay attention to. Don't become manipulative in a place where you need to apologize to your children. You are free to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is something that you should have as a parent. Let them know that you can fall. You're not infallible. Let's be humble. Without humility, you won't be able to go far in life. Yes, this is something that, as a personal development enthusiast, this is something that I have learned. There are several people that will see us that, like, they are going to be our bosses, but we are going to be way more older than them. It is being humble that will help us to, bring ourselves down and learn from them. Bring ourselves down and listen to them. It is important for us to be humble. Other things that pushes our children away is comparison to others. It could be with their siblings. It could be with other people. The things that we say. Is it not your mates that are taking first? Is it not your mates that are doing this? Is it not your mates that are going to competition? Comparison. Neglecting ourselves. Parenting martyrdom. This is something that pushes our children away. You see, there's something I was thinking of shortly before this class. And a lot of, especially women, Muslim women, we complain that, our daughters, maybe they find it difficult. They don't want to use the hijab. They want to do this. Why do you think these children find it difficult to use the hijab when they turn teenagers or when they continue to grow? What exactly is happening? Can anyone share anything with me? What exactly do you think is happening when you struggle with that your girl child to use the hijab? To use the hijab majorly, because they have associated the hijab with something. Let's all think about these things. They have associated the hijab with a lack of excellence. That is what they have associated it with. They feel that once you start to use the hijab, you're going to be limited, your voice is not going to be heard, you are going to be this and like that. So they don't want to be in that space whereby they won't be heard. So they find it difficult to adorn the hijab, because they feel that once you start to use the hijab, you're going to be known for mediocrity and all of that. So look at it. What exactly is happening? Don't neglect yourself in the process of trying to raise children. This is something that I always say. Don't give into parenting martyrdom. Don't give into parenting martyrdom, because you are going to be pushing your children away. They don't want to. Is somebody that doesn't want to use hijab that wants to stand beside you or walk beside you or show off that, okay, yes, this is my mom. Let's think about all of these things very well. They find it difficult to even say that, yes, this is my mom. Why? I say this every time, that we are people of excellence. Let us exhume excellence in everything that we do. Let us exhume his hand. Let them see us and know that, yes, in everything that this person do, this person is excellent. Let us keep, don't give in to parenting martyrdom because you are raising children. A lot of the time, I tell people that the main reason why we do this is because we see our children as our return on investment. We send them to the best school. We give them the best this. We do this for them because we want a return later. It is you that should have whatever it is that you want to eat until you die. Try as much as possible to start getting it now that you have that agility to do it. Remember, take advantage of 5 before 5. Take advantage of that, your good health now, to start accumulating. Don't make your children your return on investment, because if you try to put your children in that space whereby when I grow old, you know that adage. When you put yourself in that space, you're going to neglect yourself. You're going to neglect yourself. You won't be able to grow together with your child. So what happens? You are just there. Your child is growing. Your child is going to push you away, of course, because you're not even matching up. You're just there. Please, in everything that you do, even if it starts from picking one book in a day, in a week, in a month to read, enrolling for courses. You see all of these things. I have, for maybe because of the type of person, we can't all be the same thing. I have never been in a space whereby I would think that paying for a particular course or paying for something that is going to make me better is actually enriching that person. I feel that it's enriching me more, because the knowledge you have, nothing can take it away from you. The money that you are giving to that person will spend it and it will finish. Or if they not finish, if the person continues to, but that knowledge is going to be with you. It cannot be collected from you by anyone. So let's stop being in that place whereby we see investing in ourselves, investing in the way we treat our children, investing in the, in the ways we show up, is people extorting us. Please, let's think about it. Don't neglect yourself because you are raising you. Yes, sacrifice, but don't sacrifice the whole of you. The last one that we're going to be talking about is inconsistent discipline. Inconsistent discipline comes as a result of a lack of emotional intelligence. It comes as a result of a lack of structure and systems in your home. Yes, because when your child does something, your child does not know how you are going to react. So they don't know what to do. They just, should I do it? Should I not do it? Because you are not predictable. They don't know. Today you say this thing, today, tomorrow you are saying no, it's not like that. Do you know why we do that? Because we are not emotionally regulated. We just act based on our feelings, based on how we feel, based on our emotions. That's how we act. So there's going to be inconsistent discipline. Maybe your child has, cooked something today and that child cooked it the next day. Maybe there's not enough salt, there's no this, there's no that. You start complaining. I did not even ask you to cook it. Did I ask you to cook it in the first place? Emotional deregulation. You cannot control yourself. You are just acting. You do not have a consistent disciplinary approach. You are not predictable. You are just acting based on your feelings, based on your emotions. You are going to be pushing your children away because they are not predictable. They don't know what to do. So the only thing that will be in their head is, let me just gain admission and leave this house. Let Monday just come and let me just go to school. He cannot spend time with you because you're not predictable. Tomorrow you are here, next tomorrow you are there. Many things like that pushes our children away. Many things. And the only thing that can help us to fight all of these things is when we begin to, be intentional and we immerse ourselves into that intentionality. It's not today, you're off, tomorrow you are there, tomorrow you are not there. That's still not predictable. This is something that is very important. Right, I have been saying it before that, inshallah, come next year, we're going to be starting our accountability system, and it's going to be for a year whereby parents are going to be exposed to tools, to skills, to every day knowledge of the things that they can actually do with their children if we actually want to be intentional, right? This is something that is cooking, inshallah, and I pray that it comes out well to benefit everyone that is going to be enrolling, for this, inshallah. And I want to use this opportunity to, to encourage you that it is a space that you should be in. So please look forward to it. May Allah spare our life. In conclusion, our children turning their backs at us, not talking to us, not, being in that place whereby we want to have that rapport and all of that. It didn't just come from the vacuum. It came as a result of the things that we did and the things that we didn't do. So it's something that we really need to watch. So if we still have younger children, we don't find ourselves there. And if we have older children too, we start to work towards all of these things. And we'll see our children come back. And we won't be able to do this if we do not have the necessary tools and the necessary knowledge that we really need to actually get to where we're going to. And that's why in everything that we do, like I have said, try as much as possible to immerse yourself into learning, into continuous learning. because that is what is going to help us to be stable. Knowledge is something that raises us. Knowledge is something that elevates us. This is something that I can tell you wholeheartedly because I have walked the path and I know how it feels, right? So thank you so much for joining me, even if I had all of this session alone, right? Thank you so much for joining me. That was on the other side, right? So I'll see you again next Friday. Inshallah, may Allah spare our lives. May Allah makes this beneficial for everyone who has listened to me today. Like I always say, don't come to sessions like this without going with an action plan. Go with an action plan. If there's something at all, even if it is to start with apologizing when your child does something, go with something. Don't just come to sessions like this, because if you come and you do not even implement anything that has been spoken about here, you're not going to be different from those who didn't come at all. And that's the truth, right? So please try as much as possible to go with an action plan. May Allah make it easy for you and for me also, right? Thank you so much for joining me. Yes, Miss Kafila, it was a good session. Next Friday again, inshallah. Yes, we move again. Thank you so much for coming and thank you so much for also having me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.